All right. Hey, hey. All right, guys. So we are going to do a quick peek at today's topic, and this is a pretty important one because it is for December 31st. Um, what I'm going to ask is, what is the universe's message for anything to know, any big takeaway point from 2024? Now, granted, I'm putting this video out in advance of the 31st, and that is because people are in time zones ahead of my own. But we have a Nine of Wands. This is the message from the universe. It says in 2024, take forward the amount of healing that a character has already done. Take forward with them how much they've accomplished. Be, if you're going to be wounded, be a warrior. Be the person who is still carrying the determination to finish the healing project, because you're really, 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 really close, is what the universe says to our character. We're from the Nine of Wands to the Ten of Wands. Let this be the moment that we choose to go ahead and catch our breath and say, all right, here it is. This is the big wind up. I've done all of this throughout 2024, and maybe 2024 is also representing a culmination of many, many things that I've been working through, problems that I have been sifting through, things that I've been letting go of. But now let me go ahead and put the finishing capstone on it. Right now, here, still in 2024, let me not say, well, I'm going to have to bring this with me. I'm not done yet. This actually says that if a character wanted to put the final capstone on some healing, they could do it right now. They don't have to bring anything broken into next year. We have the strength to carry on. Not everything in life will be super successful at. Be okay with the fact that some things we didn't win the grand, prize on, but we showed up and we did our best. Be okay being like, I guess what I would say is being imperfect. I don't want to say be okay being broken, but we're all a little bit of dented tin cans, right? So be okay and know that, even if I'm a little dented, even if I'm, so what, I'm not perfectly polished. Look at how strong I am. Look at how resilient I am. So great message here that we don't have to be superheroes to actually say, yeah, but I'm good enough. And actually I'm really strong and I like me. And I'm going to move into 2025 saying I've done enough healing on whatever this is. So I'm not 100% perfect. I'm still pretty damn good. You know what? I think I'm not going to look at myself as broken. So what? I didn't win, every race, and I didn't get everything, and I'm not perfect. That's okay. I'm still really strong. Okay, great message, because it's so much about like self-acceptance and actually like the ability to love oneself. That's a fantastic message. Okay, let's keep going. Universe, what else is there as we close out 2024? Knight of Cups, and it is sideways. Be mindful that pursuing things that our heart wants, and pursuing things that want us, that's going to bring probably the greatest reciprocity. Moving toward things that we want and that show that they want us also. Things that we care about, emotional exchanges. This is even like deepen connections and give more to the people who reciprocate. Don't give more and more and more to the people that don't reciprocate. Don't care more and more and more and more about the things that are not giving anything in return, but rather, as we close out this year, recognize or maybe even make a list of the connections or the emotional things that have yielded something in return, not just grief and loneliness, although there can be lessons to be had from this. But this is more about reciprocity of things that we care to give our energy to, things that we care to give our emotions to. What things gave us back emotion? Because there's going to be a lot of things, but it's a great mentality, like put our mindset in like, oh, well, my next door neighbor, they're not a love interest or anything, but, I've, whatever, look out for them. They look out for me. God, that's a really great reciprocating emotional bond that I have. You know, the person, the cashier at the local grocery store that, you know, I always love going through their line. They're always so nice. You know, I brought them something for Christmas. They were so happy, and then found out they left me something for Christmas too. You know, sometimes those little connections in our life mean so much. You know, whatever, my mechanics, they've always been, you know, so trustworthy, and I just really appreciate them. And you know what? That's a really great relationship. Not everything has to be about romance, but it is about an emotional bond. And it says to really count up the reciprocating emotional bonds, because it's also important to count up the things that are not true, the things that are, you know, forever we're on the hook thinking someday somebody's going to give, someday there's going to be reciprocity. And it's like, it's not. You know what? There are certain things. This is a good time to see through fact versus fiction, is what the universe is saying. If we were going to close out 2024 in like maybe the most beneficial way, it is to count up all of the reciprocating, emotionally reciprocating relationships, and to count up the things that haven't been true, haven't yielded any emotional reciprocation. Now, that's a big thing. It's a really big thing, because this is a major arcana. I can see why the universe is like, first, count up all the really good things, because you want to have a vision of what does it feel like? What does it look like when there's emotional reciprocity with our family, with our friends, with the people that we count, you know, as important. And like I said, the other people that are the adjuncts in our life, you know, our next door neighbor, who maybe we don't know everything about their personal life, but there's a kindness there. You know, they help us out, we help them out, little bits here and there. Those are still emotional bonds, you know, and maybe to count up what's real, so that when we look at what isn't real, it's a lot easier to be like, oh yeah, well, I shouldn't be getting more like caring and conversation from my favorite checker at my local grocery store than I do someone that I've been like, oh, I want to manifest having a relationship with this person. But honestly, they're not interested in getting to know me, or they haven't been present in my life. This says not to pine for the things that really aren't reciprocating, because basically, if it's not showing up in our life to give us anything, then we don't really have anything to miss, right? Because they already aren't giving their energy to us. Therefore, if their energy is not there, it's no different than if they were around, because they were not giving, either way you slice it. So I don't know, it's just a kind of a nice way to separate fact from fiction and pull toward oneself the really good stuff. Okay, what else? How else should we end 2024? Two of Pentacles with flexibility. Flexibility is, you know, the Two of Coins is being able to see two halves of something, recognizing that not everything is super, super simple. Some things are, two things can be true at the same time. You know, we've got an Eight of Swords in the reverse to round that out. I'm not stuck, but maybe I don't want to let go. I'm not stuck, but maybe I'm still considering something. I think this says to be in a flexible frame of mind, to say, look, I don't know exactly how everything's going to go in life. So I leave my life a little bit open to, if I learn new information that pleases me, I can change my opinion about this. I'm not holding on saying I have to have this or that, but I'm also not just a complete, you know, such a free spirit that my feet don't even touch the ground. There's something about like, I know what I think, but on the other hand, I realize that in life, we're going to learn new information that could change our opinions. So if I can be on the fence about something and not be stuck, not having a hard yes or no answer doesn't mean that we either don't have a backbone, or that we don't know what we think, or that we're trapped in this cyclical thought process. It says to kind of be okay with maybe not always having all the information just yet. Be okay with saying, I don't know, it could go either way, or I don't know, I could see it both ways. And not feeling this pressure to be like everything has to fit into a category. It cannot possibly exist in two planes of existence, because many things exist in more than kind of like one little box, right? Not everything fits into one perfect little package as much as we'd like to categorize. this is true, this is not, this is who this person is, this is who they aren't. Leaving, I'm thinking that this might be about love, a relationship that a character is not hooked on a person. They're going to meet other people, they're going to date other people, move forward. But in truth, if there's like a lack of closure in some other connection where it's like, look, I have no idea what really happened between myself and that person of the past. I'm not stuck on it. I'm moving forward. But if there's unfinished business there, likely at some point I'll probably end up hearing from that person again. I'm not stuck on it. I'm not needing it. I'm not demanding it in order to live my best life. But I'm aware that there's still maybe information I don't know about something. But it's neither here nor there. It's being okay walking in the space of, if I don't have all the facts, then it's hard to make a decision about how everything's going to go. But it also doesn't mean that I'm stuck until I know the facts. Because some things in life might be, two things could be true, where it's like, well, I love this person, but I could never be with them, and that might be the fact. And that's okay. I can still say, yep, I love them. Nope, they are not my person. I'm not stuck on them. I can love somebody else in a completely different way, in a healthy way. So it just kind of lays things out with, there's a lot of, nothing is such a neat and tidy little bow at the end of the year. But you notice how all these messages have kind of a similar theme, where it's like being genuinely okay with who we are, dealing with life as it is, not in a fantasy land as to how we wish it was going to be, not over pumping or over expecting so much of ourselves that it's unrealistic, nor expecting things to be like a movie in regards to other people. I actually really like this. This feels so grounded and so solid and so like reasonable, while still being like, there are expectations for truth. There are expectations for things to make sense as we leave this year. That's actually, I think, all really nice, solid messages. Okay, anything else? The Page of Swords and the Two of Wands. Be curious. It says, as we leave, that one of the best messages, the best things we could do as we embark into the next year is know that the next year is, unwritten stories. And so be interested. Don't do the same old thing. Be interested in new information, create new opportunities for oneself, recognize that there's always choices in what we want to do, but our choices continue to like expand the more we learn. So the Page of Swords is gathering information. This is the it's wonderful to think of a new year starting, but it says, learn something new, get intrigued by new thoughts, seek out information that is different than what we've been comfortable with, consider new points of view, and allow ourselves, especially in Year of the Snake, which is what we're headed into, prepare for change. And one of the best agents of change is either when we're kind of done being in our old skin, or something has become kind of like old hat or boring or uncomfortable. That's when we want to change. But this says we could actually choose change because we want more opportunities in life. So choosing to learn more, anytime we learn something we didn't know before, it has the power to possibly get us on a whole new track. Like, once upon a time, I had never tasted Indian food, and then I did, and I fell in love with it, and I adore Indian food, and that changed like my whole, kitchen, and the culinary aspect. Now I have to have garam masala in my house. I have to have certain, influences, certain flavors. Got to make Navratan korma. There's just certain things that I need to have now because my palate was broadened. And once you've tasted something new, once you've been seeking some extra flavors, some extra this and that, it suddenly you have something else to choose from during, midweek dinners. Like, what do I want to eat tonight? Do I want Italian? Do I want hamburgers? Do I want, tamales? Or do I want Indian food? We just broadened our palate. we have got the Ace of Swords in the reverse. It also says, as our character moves into 2025, this is more like preparing. This is prepare to look for new information, prepare to have new options and new choices to make. But with the Ace of Swords in the reverse, this is like, there may not be immediate, hard and fast truths. Seeking new information, being an active learner, and then looking for, the new opportunities. It's saying not to cut any one thing out too soon, not to assume that we're always going to get the right answer instantly, not to be closed-minded. This is a great card to say, I'm seeking knowledge, I'm seeking truth. But sometimes, because this is a starting point, to really find the full truth of something, we're going to have to go deep enough down the rabbit hole or go far enough into exploration before we can find some truth. If we said, this is the truth, I went, 2 miles this direction, I know what the terrain is, it's, all mountainous. Okay, but if we didn't actually get all the way to the top of the mountain and to see down the other side, to see whether or not suddenly it's a big flat plateau, we may say, oh, it's mountains from here on out, because all we did was drive, halfway up a mountain and said, yes, it's all mountains. Why? Because I'm on a mountain right now. Yeah, but we got to go far enough to find out, is that really true? So it says, don't be too quick to decide to cut stuff out or to decide this is the truth, this is how it is, because this is going to be a year of learning that we're moving into. So to kind of like prepare one's mind for new information and enjoy the process, enjoy kind of like a kid, kids, they love it when they learn new stuff. It's really exciting when they learn how to do stuff or they learn new things that they're, remember how exciting it was when we learned how to ride a bike or tie our shoes. That's like a whole new world of like little finger dexterity to tie our little shoes. That was amazing. That was like a bragging rights right there when you're in kindergarten and you learn to tie your little shoes. So looking at 2025 as a year where we maybe could be more like childlike, in every new thing that we learn, all it's going to do is open up new avenues of more to learn, but not to assume that it's like, okay, I'm here to master this and move on. I'm here to kick ass and take names, and that's all this is. One thing after another, I'm just going to set them up and knock them down, and I'm just going to learn something new, master it, and then that's all there is to know, and I move on to the next chapter. This actually says it could be a year that could be full of delights if we walk into 2025 with this open mind where it's like, I can't wait to see what I'm going to be delighted to discover. I am so excited to see where life takes me. We've got a 10 of Wands. It is in the reverse. This can be about laying down, burdens and such, but you notice that this is more like a 2 of Wands card where it's a choice between which routes to take. This says there may be plenty of times as we enter into next year where, again, don't think that it's always going to be so hard and fast. Oh, that's bad and that's good. And it's going to be a lot of gray areas is what it says. And be prepared for gray areas and be prepared for it to be a year of learning and a lot less intensity of like, this is no good, this is perfect, this is how it should be. Because it's year of the snake and it's shedding an old skin, there's a moment of vulnerability maybe, and then the chance to be really like, let me figure out what's true from here on out. Let me not be too quick to judge anybody or to judge a relationship. Let me not be too quick to assign a label to a person, who they're going to be in my life, who they're not going to be in my life. Let me just roll with this and see how this goes. You know what? That's a kind of an exciting message. All right, you guys, thanks for being here. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up. Bye.